Hello everyone, what you're looking at here is Zenless Zone Zero. This is a new game from Hoyoverse, the creators of Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Now I know this usually isn't the type of game I generally cover here on the channel. If you've seen before, it's kind of been predominantly like sci-fi shooters or looter shooters, action RPGs, but I thought I'd jump into this one just because I love the visual style going on here, the sort of cyberpunk, but also it's kind of retro futurist, like you're using a lot of CRTs and like compact discs for whatever reason in this future world. It's cool, some cool anime style. The combat is incredibly flashy and dynamic, and I'll get into more thoughts here as we get into the video. But you know, I'm liking it so much, I want to cover it here on the channel. And don't worry, I still do plan to cover things like Destiny here, of course, and some other games that I've been covering here recently, live service games that come out, newly released ones, action RPGs, whatever. I'll just have to figure it out as we go and hope it all works out. We'll just see where it goes. Anyway, I am really liking Zenless Zone Zero. Again, it is a gacha game, so it's free to play on mobile. It's also on PlayStation and PC. I've been predominantly playing it on the PlayStation, and I've played a little bit on mobile as well. Not usually my type of game, I will say straight up. I played Genshin Impact when it first came out, and stuck with it for, you know, a handful of hours. I played a decent chunk, but then kind of fell off. Not really have drive or means to really want to stick with that game, just for various different reasons, and I think just other games came out at the time and became so daunting to get back into it with years of content updates. And the other Hoyo game, Honkai Star Rail, while I like the cool sci-fi kind of aspects of the game, it being kind of like a more like JRPG experience, was not really what I was looking for. I really like the more action-packed combat that is here in Zenless. It is more very character action like, but you have a squad of 3 characters that you can swap between in real time in combat. You can kind of do it freely. As you're seeing here in the combat, what's happening is that you, as you're doing combos and attacking enemies, they are building a stagger meter. Once you stagger them a certain amount, it freeze frames and then lets you pick between either of your partner characters, and then they swap in and do a follow-up kind of combo attack, and you can then chain those into like multiple stuns, combo kind of swapping attacks, and it's really fun, very flashy. Can be kind of like hard to see if you're just kind of seeing it for the first time and have no idea what's going on. But that's kind of what's happening with the character swapping. The presentation of it all it just grabs me, and I really like it. I know I've seen some people give some thoughts about it, the combat feeling pretty simple, and while I agree to an extent, I think the idea of figuring out team compositions that kind of enhance those combos and things the characters can play off of each other, and on top of that, people are starting to learn that, like, oh yeah, each individual character maybe has some little extra mechanics or flourishes to even add to that combat. Like for instance, you have your 3 starting characters. Anbi, she has a kind of like a standard 3-hit combo. If you hit 3 hits and then you hold down the attack trigger button, she actually gets 2 additional hits on the combo that do like kind of electric damage. So you can kind of increase that elemental effect on there, and that also lets you cancel directly into her heavy attack when you have that charged, rather than that having kind of a wind up. So like little things like that every individual character has in some regards, and they do a good job of, like, you know, either letting you try and figure it out, but also there are just straight up like kind of tutorial things you can kind of track down through the game and kind of take those on, and that'll let you also teach those things for pretty much any character you unlock through the gachas, and also when they kind of introduce characters through those kind of gacha banners, or whenever new characters get added that you can pull for, that lets you then demo out the characters and see what their combat kits look like and how they work. So it all kind of flows in together. Again, this being kind of like the third big, I think Hoyo's done even more than, you know, third, but I think, you know, coming off of the learnings from Genshin and Honkai are like all here in Zenless, and I think it makes it like definitely feel like a pretty refined experience that I am liking a lot. And again, it also kind of scratches that itch of, you know, a lot of the other games I cover on the channel, frankly, where there is kind of a dungeon crawlery action RPG kind of experience to this, because you are leveling up these characters. You are finding these engines that you can equip that then lets you kind of play into the character's abilities and things like that. And then you can, obviously, when you're getting multiple characters, you're enhancing them even more. It feeds into that loop, and then, the moment gameplay kind of, there's the story aspect where you kind of go between these little TV sort of like top-down sort of puzzle things, I guess you could call them, where you're like navigating like these rows of literal CRT TVs, and then there will be like enemy TVs that you like go into, and that'll start like a combat dungeon, or you'll get like more puzzly ones where you have to kind of like uncover things, or you'll get like bombs that let you blow up certain pathways and things like that. There's a lot of variance to them, I'll give them that, but I definitely will say that they're not the most exciting aspect of the game for sure. That definitely comes in when these actual combat sequences kick off and you're able to kind of run through these little zones. The zones can be pretty simple. I will say that as you progress through the game, you do start unlocking different kinds of variants of these, where like if you do the main story stuff, a lot of those pathways and hallways are pretty simple, but as you get deeper in the game, you unlock Hollow Zero, which transforms the game into like a roguelite almost experience, or like it pretty much is a roguelite experience where you pick your 3 characters, and then you will have you'll actually start with just a single character when you enter, and then you'll navigate these TV sections, and there'll be like a shop you can go in to buy these cards that'll let you then give you passive abilities for your run, and you are basically just trying to go as deep as you can till the end and hopefully make it, and you can kind of just do these over and over again and have these kind of more bespoke experiences going through these hollow points. So I really like that stuff, and you're kind of like building as you go, because you'll find like the other characters you've chosen for your team, or you'll find like bang boos, which are like these little like assist characters you can find and equip through the gachas in the base game, or in this mode they'll just kind of have them as like selectable cards you can essentially equip to you for that run. So that's a lot of fun. I also got into, I think I'm like towards the end of chapter 2 of like the story beat, which has you meeting the Bellabog Industries. It's like this very anime construction crew with this big bear guy. It's a very fun cast of characters, of course, because Hoyo does some great character design and artwork and stuff like that. Clearly shows in this game specifically for sure that I'm really digging. In those things, I've also been introduced to these rally quests, which are basically just some of the combat, but they are much larger areas, much more explorable, and have like bonus challenges like portals that you can find in these environments, and they have more bespoke like enemy encounters throughout them. So those are pretty cool. I just started getting those, and that's, I would say, I feel like I'm kind of mid game right now from any experience. I know there's like a whole 3rd chapter of story to go do, and probably some other side quests and things like that. But yeah, I'm really digging this game in a way I never thought, because again, like I said, I've not really played a lot of gacha games in previous years. I kind of fell off of Genshin, and even then I was not like super grabbed by it, and not really felt the drive to come back where like I could really see myself investing in this game and playing it for years, and playing it as long as they keep making cool, interesting updates and add more interesting kind of gameplay sequences that are like this. I think they've already taken some feedback in. I think I was reading that they're already looking ways to maybe potentially fully replace some of the TV aspects of the games, like the little TV segments, or just doing entirely new things like that. I would love to see like slightly more open environments. I don't think I need them to be like as big as Genshin. Like I don't need like a big Genshin open world by any means, but I think having like a big explorable kind of city street area bigger than what's in the game now would be really cool, because there are some of those in the game now, like there's little hubs you can walk around and interact with characters, and you'll get like some side quests and stuff in those zones, and they are really cool little areas with little secrets to find, and you can take pictures of cats and silly things like that. So like that stuff's pretty cool, and I just hope that like maybe there's a place for like bigger areas to explore and maybe do stuff in. That could be really neat, I think, for the future of this game. But there you have it. Those are just some like general impressions for Zenless Zone Zero. Again, I can't really get here into the super nitty gritty because I don't really have a lot of experience with gacha games in general. Like I don't really play a lot of them, but I see myself getting into this one, and this is probably going to be like I would consider like maybe a gateway drug. That's like a bad way to put it, because I don't see myself like suddenly becoming obsessed with like, you know, pulling gachas and doing all kinds of crazy stuff like that over and over again, because frankly I've not put any money into this game yet and still liking it a lot and still feel like I can just kind of keep playing, and have not really felt the drive to like, oh god, I gotta spend money or I'm gonna fall behind, or I feel like I'm like stuck at this wall unless I spend money. Like, I've not hit any of that, and I'm like 25 hours into the game and have plenty to do, so like that's just nice to see. So we'll just see how it goes. You know, I'll probably have more thoughts later on. Again, I don't have a full idea of how I want to cover this game on the channel just yet, but I definitely do. You know, I might just mainly focus on, you know, sharing news updates when they release news and updates and what their plans are for the game. I might make videos on that, and maybe make some videos around like when content drops, give you some of my thoughts as I play through the game and start learning it. You know, again, you know, we're shifting a lot around here on Helm the Tower, so I know it's not like a lot of the usual video content you see on here, like covering Destiny and more recently like Wayfinder and First Descendant. You know, all these games, I'm still gonna cover them. You know, I'm just gonna have to figure out how to juggle that, and I'm still kind of figuring that all out. So appreciate y'all sticking with me as we figure this stuff out, and you know, add stuff in, and maybe figure out where coverage of each of these games makes sense and fits here on the channel. But thanks for watching, guys. Me rambling about Zenless. I think it's an awesome game, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So, you know, maybe it's worth checking out if you're maybe not a fan of these games, and maybe as a way to just try it out and see if you like it. Again, it's free to play, because I sure do. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.